Welcome to the Committed Hearts Podcast. I'm Donna Porter.
I'm William Porter, and we like to start off with a prayer. Father God, we come now as we have conversation about marriage, conversation about relationships. We ask that those that hear this even now or later will hear something that can help them in their situation, Father, where it would be better. Pray this to the Father in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Because we want it to be better. That better is our direction for everything. Well, I'm excited again just to have this great conversation. And I was titling it Roll Bounce or Roll Bondage. Roll Bounce or Roll Bondage. And I know somebody's like, what in the world is that? In every relationship, there are roles and responsibilities,
Yes.
right? The moment we get married and we living together in the same place, there are things that have to be done.
That's right.
And this this idea of roles and responsibilities is, I think, something that really needs to be discussed and talked about um before you say I do, right? So you and I were having this conversation earlier about roles and responsibilities and the expectations. The expectations that you come into the relationship with, and you don't even realize that you've got these expectations.
Mhm.
And until you get in the relationship and something, we got to figure out who's doing what or how you're doing what and all these kind of things. So roles and responsibilities. I'm just wondering, before you and I got together, if you had any preconceived ideas of what your role would be and what my role would be. Did you have any preconceived ideas?
I would say no. I would still say no, and that's because in my upbringing, I mean, I had roles as a child. So any role I came in or any role I had to play, I was already all right with it. I could do cook, laundry, whatever I needed to do. So I was gonna come into this relationship doing whatever I needed to do for it to work.
So you didn't have any preconceived ideas of what your wife would do or what you would do as a husband?
Well, once again, what I'm saying in my upbringing, I seen my moms do things. I seen my father do things, and my father would do some of the things my moms did.
Okay,
So with that, all I can answer that with, honey, is and what I seen. I never was someone that dreamed when I get older, this what I'm going to do, or when I get married, this what I'm going to do. I only seen what my parents did,
right.
and that's what I seen. So seeing that coming into a marriage, I had no specific thing what my wife gonna do or what I'm gonna do.
That
I can
is
do either one
that is
because
so
that's what I
amazing.
seen.
Okay, that is so amazing to me because I, on the other hand, had preconceived ideas
Okay,
of what I would do as a wife and what my husband would do. And I think it's interesting because I think a lot of it comes from background,
absolutely.
right? Um, a lot of it can come from television. Um, what we saw growing up. And for I think for little girls, or yeah, I think for little girls, we played with our dolls and we had preconceived ideas even then. We had our dolls, being wives, and our dolls were in relationships and stuff. And so I think that we have always acted out what we think the roles should be.
Mhm.
And so I think society and culture um kind of educates us, as gives us a mindset about roles.
Right, well, even in my upbringing, I can't remember a time that I had to even if I'm playing, I was never playing by myself, so I had to respond with a toy. It was either me or my brother because I had siblings that was even in the same age or year difference where we would do it together. So it was never where I need to entertain myself. So even if we was playing something like you see on TV, we playing it based off what we see our parents do.
Plus, I don't think I don't think little boys pretend to be daddies.
No.
But little girls, or I'll talk for myself, we pretend to be mommies.
Mm.
We pretend to be wives.
Right.
We have been almost mentored by whatever we've seen what these roles are like.
Right, and it depends on who's participating in what we're doing. If it's a young lady and I'm doing something with my sister, she gonna give me my role. You this or this.
Come
But now
on,
if
girls.
it's not cowboys or Indians, she gonna give me my role. You okay, you gonna play the dad. So that's what had happened. But if it was just me and my brother, we gonna do something rough. So we just take on a role and we just play. But if it was my sister that older than me was doing it, she gave me a role. Yeah, you gonna play the dad, you gonna play this. So I didn't have to guess one. You see what I'm saying? So I was given that, and it was probably the dad because I'm the guy, and of course I do what I see my dad do.
Okay, so see, then that's a preconceived idea. If 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 your sisters say, "Okay, you're gonna be the dad," and then how are you gonna be the dad? You're being the dad based upon the dad you know.
Okay, well, to me, I don't know if that's what a preconceived is. Okay, then that's what I did. When you asked me the question, I answered it the best I can, not knowing what preconceived. Maybe I don't know what that meant. But what I'm telling you is, I had no one what the dad or the mom gonna do because my father cooked just as much as my mom's cooked.
But that's an
My
idea
mom's
as
took out
well.
trash just like my father did. So no, and in this day, some people, my wife don't need to take out no trash. So that's something I created when I got here. That was as we got married. So before it was interchangeable.
Yes, but
So
but that was also an idea that you saw, right? So I believe that you came into the relationship already with the idea that we can interchange roles
sure.
because that's what you saw.
Absolutely.
Okay, so that's a
So let me
preconceived
tell you what
idea.
I'm thinking. When you say to me preconceived, my wife gonna do certain things, my husband gonna do certain things. That's what I thought you was asking me.
No, preconceived. Whatever you thought, you had an idea before you came into the
Okay. Then
relationship.
yes, I had
Okay,
ideas.
that's so this preconceived idea, right? Okay, so your both of your parents worked
Absolutely.
when you grew up,
Both of them
right?
work.
And so my mom was a stay-at-home mom. And so my mom was very involved in PTA at the school, all those kind of things. My dad was working.
Mm.
And so those roles are put inside of me, and I nobody's sitting down saying to me, this is what you're going to do, or this is what a wife does, or this is what a woman does, or this is what a father does. No, I saw those things, and those things that I saw, I just naturally took them on. They were downloaded inside of me, right? So we get these ideas, these from images of what our life is going to be like. The danger in that is that if the two people, the husband and wife, or fiancés, whatever at the time, do not have a discussion about their expectations, we may come into this relationship and have these ideas of what our roles are, and then find out that is not at all what is about to happen, right? And so, and I understand that as a female, as a woman, that I am built a different way, right? Physically, mentally, emotionally, that I'm designed differently. There's some characteristics about me, things about me as a woman, and that I don't have anything to do with, right? It just comes along with the package. And then the same thing for you,
Mhm.
right? Men think from a different side of the brain
Mhm.
than women. So there are things that came along with you being a male.
Yes.
And so we think different, we may do some things different, all that kind of stuff, but that has nothing to do with the roles that we play in the
Right.
household.
Even though we have the differences of thinking and makeup, we still have to come and get some type of system that we can agree to do in this marriage or to operate by. And it may be you can't come with the attitude 50-50 or a certain amount I'm going to do. You got to come with a attitude. I'm going to give 100% whichever way they have to roll. I mean, if not, it's going to be a problem because as other things become involved in the dynamics of the marriage, some things will have to be shared.
Oh, I love some things will
Have
have
to
to
be
be
shared
shared.
because I'm just thinking about my parents. Honestly, I don't even when I was in school. I don't know what was a PTA. I don't know what you're talking about. If my parents ever went to a school to a PTA, I don't even know what you're talking about because I got 10 brothers and sisters. So my parents, I don't even remember them ever going to anything like that. And that's not that they didn't know, but with
They were
the
working.
schedule, they was working it. So I wouldn't even know when you say PT, I'm trying to think, what was that? And I learned that based off my children now going to school. But before that, I wouldn't know what that was.
And so, but I love that moment because the way you grew up and the way I grew up now are coming together.
Absolutely.
And we come into this relationship and we don't talk about roles, responsibilities. A lot of times we got married. Thank God that when we do premarital counseling, we cover roles and
Correct. Yes,
responsibilities.
yes, yes.
Excuse me. And so it's important to have these discussions. And even if people have like it's somebody might be saying it's too late now.
Right.
Like we're already in this, we've been married all these years. No, we need to have a conversation about it and be okay with the decisions
Yes,
that are made.
yes, yes, yes.
Now, do you feel like there are certain things that you do and certain things that I do, like, and they don't cross?
Yes, I mean, if you talking about us now or when we have
Yeah,
children?
now.
Right now, if we have with our children, if my daughter asks me something and I'm a man, Imma say, "You might need to ask your moms about that," because she would know how to respond to that, and I don't have a problem with that. But if she's, "Daddy, I wanna ask you," then I'm gonna give her the answer that I know, and it may be generic, it may be just something where you're not being ignored. I probably wouldn't know that answer. So I know who I am, and what I understand, I will redirect that, and I'll have a problem with it.
And I think it's interesting because I don't know if there's anything in our relationship today that, oh no, he does that and and I don't.
Absolutely not.
I feel like we have the kind of relationship that not necessarily that you're the only one that does it, but I'm saying I could do it too if
Right. It's
necessary.
interchangeable.
Okay, so
Yeah,
it's interchangeable.
yeah.
And so we just happen to work that way.
Work that way.
I mean, you may wash dishes
Right.
sometime, I may wash dishes
And
sometime.
honestly, we may have done this being unaware. We created that earlier in the marriage, and we did that because with other things going on in the household, we needed to make sure things was covered so that we had personal time for you and I at some point. If not, you can do this all day up until the time you get up till you lay down. Something need to be accomplished. So we established to where, okay, we're gonna get the kids involved. We already know we need to do this, we need to do that. Why? At a certain time, we want time for each other. So we established that whether we was wanting at that time, we implemented that so that we would always have time. At a certain time, we going to chill, we went and chill.
Okay, so what would you say to somebody who's listening and the man, he's like, "Well, I'm a man and I this is what I do and I don't do that." And you the wife, you the woman and you supposed to take care of them.
Well, I would do a lot of praying because honestly, at that time, people
Wait, what would you say to him?
to the man, I would
Yes.
say, so you might want to take a look at that because at some point you want your wife to have time for you. And if she doing everything and have to continue to change these hats, at some point she's gonna be tired, she's gonna be wore out. So it's no time for you. I would recommend to participate in some of the things you can help her do to wind down what she's not
Alleviate
and
some of
alleviate
that.
some of that so that she's the pressure so that when it come time for you, you're not getting the short end of the stick.
I love the word participate.
Yeah, participate, and that's okay. What do that mean? If she washing dishes, dry them. If she finna go vacuum the floor, let me get the vacuum while you do this. So take on some things that can give her a little leadway so she could have some energy for you.
Yes. And so I said role balance or role bondage. I said that because if you're not careful, you can be put in a role bondage, right? You can assume, no, this is what I do, this is my responsibility, and this is what you do, and this is your responsibility. And we may delegate different things,
Right.
right? But um what we're saying is that when necessary, or we can switch up.
Right. So what would you say to a young lady who's saying that I'm doing this? My husband said I'm a man. What would you say to her?
Ooh, I say, girl, you need to go into some prayer and
Mhm,
fasting. No,
mhm,
I was like, have a conversation and say, hey, if you don't mind, can you help me do such and such, or
mhm.
would you assist me, with this right here? And yeah, it's got to be worked out. We got to have these conversations where we get more done.
Yeah, and
But we
don't
work together.
and don't hesitate to start the conversation, even if it don't be the outcome you want right away. Have the conversations and know you need to put it in that direction, even if it's time for them to think. Because a lot of men think things through. They not right away going to say yes. They may think it through. They may say, "Nah, I ain't gonna do that right now." But give them time to digest it, and then he may say, "Well, what do you need me to do?" You have to have something now. You can't bring that to him, and then when he say to you, "What do you need me to do?" You can't say, "Oh well, I don't know yet. Let me see." No, you have to have something that you would give him to do that's going to alleviate some of them things for you. So you can't when he said, "What you want me to do?" You can't be, "Well, let me see, let me think," because that's confusing.
Well,
You got to be able to say, "Well, would you do the dishes for me? Do you mind going to get the run the kids bath water?" You got to give him something to do because if not, in his mind, you don't want me to do what you don't want me to be doing what I'm comfortable doing. Whether it's chilling, if you need my help, say, "I need your help. Can you do this?"
and put a little reward on it.
Please. Yeah.
Right? Put a little reward on it. You may not say, "Hey, baby, if you do this for me, I'll do such." No, that's not what I'm saying. But show appreciation
Yeah.
for his participation.
Yeah, and you start
Yeah,
out by saying, "Thank you for helping me." You can start that's enough right there to get him to say, "I wanna do that more." Just, "Hey, I appreciate you doing that."
I appreciate you doing that, and I'm gonna show you later.
Absolutely.
There you go. Come on, girls, and I'm gonna show you later. Just you know, thank you for helping me.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. But you can't say that to him, and then when he asks you what you need me to do, and you starting to because now you're thinking, "Well, what should I do? The hard thing? The least thing?" Now, you have to be able to, right away, tell him what you need him to do so
Babe,
that he can move forward.
I'm sitting here thinking, now I want to make sure that I say to the women, this is something I don't want you to do. Right? When you ask him to assist you with something, or like you up here, you trying to get all this stuff done, and he chilling, got his feet up, whatever. And what I don't want you to do is when he does not respond the way that you want him to respond, don't put the bro on lockdown.
Yeah.
I know you
Yeah.
know what I'm talking about. And don't put them on lockdown and say, okay, I know how to take care of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Because you make a situation worse.
So it'll make the
Situation
situation
where now
worse.
now it creates a war when we could have had a conversation and peace would have still been flowing. But because you can't give me instructions or directions, does not render now I'm on punishment. If you ask me to help you now and I'm willing to do that, you have to tell me where you need the help at.
And I love something that you have done, even when our kids were younger, you always assisted, and we taught our children, you trained our children to assist as well. Once
Absolutely.
they became that age where they could help, then they had roles and
That's right.
responsibilities, which freed us up some,
That's right.
that made us able to have time together.
Right, and in the long run, it's better for them when they get older, when they have children. And I do believe this. At some point, it got so well, we didn't even have to tell them what to do. They would just automatically just take care of it.
Practice makes
Perfect.
permanent.
Yeah, and the deal is whether they get married, whatever relationships they go into, they probably going to do what they seen done when they was up there upbringing.
And here's another thing that we were discussing earlier. Ooh, sometimes we have experienced and seen roles and responsibilities, from our parents or from relatives or whoever you were around, um, that we don't
Mhm,
want to
yeah,
implement,
yeah. So
right?
at the same time, you're gonna see things that you would do. You're gonna see things that you don't want to do
That
or
we don't
shouldn't do.
wanna do,
Yeah,
right? And so, you're learning all the time.
all the time.
You go, I don't want that.
Right.
That's not the kind of marriage I want," or this is not the way we wanna run things, and that's okay. I wanna encourage people that there is no right
Oh,
or
wrong. That's
wrong
right.
way. It's very important that, the husband and wife have a conversation and make decisions about your household.
Right.
And just because mama and them did it that way doesn't mean
Right.
that we have to do it that
Right.
way.
If y'all in agreement, it's okay. If y'all in agreement, y'all come up with your way. It don't have to be my way, your way. It don't have to be mom way, dad way. When we come with an agreement, it's okay. Long as we're in agreement and we march in that. Any other input don't matter. But y'all agree so that y'all can move in it together.
And we also don't allow outside voices to give their opinion about
Oh,
how we operate
right.
over here.
All right. And they can give their opinion, but you know what? Thank you for your opinion, but I don't want it.
There's that line again.
Yeah. I mean,
Thank you for your
opinion.
opinion, but
I
I
don't
don't want
want it.
it.
Or I don't need it. I mean, and then you don't have to say that to them. Just thank you for your opinion. And you move forward, but don't let it impede on what you and your
Your spouse.
husband, your spouse, or whatever, the significant other agreed on. If you're all in agreement, no one breaks that agreement.
No one breaks that agreement. Okay, so we do whatever's necessary,
Whatever's necessary.
right? Um whew, we did that when the children were younger.
Mhm.
We who Whoever can do it, do it.
Do it.
That's the way we operate in
Mhm.
in this house. Now, roll bounce or roll bondage. We bounce.
We bounce.
We like we're
Yeah.
bouncing.
Whatever role I have to bounce in, I can do it.
Absolutely.
And I'm doing all this to contribute to what's going to end up later when it comes for time for you and I to have time. I don't want my wife to be wore out. She done put on 5 different hats. Give me one of them hats so I can help.
Whoosh. Thank
So
you.
I can
Take
help.
take one of those hats.
Hats, and once again, it's not a matter of who do the most, you know.
Oh, that's so good.
And I'm gonna make you aware this. Some moms may be a stay at home mom, and the dad may go to work, but I'm just gonna caution the young men. Even if your wife home, she's doing work,
Sir,
and if
working
it's
all
kids, they're
day.
working all day. So don't think because you don't went and you did it on the job when you come home. Don't think they just been sitting around, twiddling their thumbs. Probably the home setting is more work than you do on your job because you're gonna get on an hour. You get a 15-minute break, so many hours, and then you get a lunch break at home. She probably don't get a break at all. Or he don't probably get a break at all. Whoever the stay home mom is. So make
Or
sure
the
you don't.
stay at home dad.
Yeah. So be careful not to make sure to let that come into the play when you're
Yes.
asked, "Can you help with something?" When you've been home all day, well, I've been home all day, but I've been working too.
That is so good. And I
Yeah.
know that there are stay at home moms right now cheering for William
Oh
Porter
my.
and what you just
Yeah,
said.
yeah, because I mean, a kid's or a job by itself.
By
You
itself.
know,
Running a household is a
it's
full-time
a full
job,
time job.
right? Especially if you're gonna do it well,
Well, right.
it's a full-time job. Okay, so roles, responsibilities. Are you a role bouncer or are you in role bondage? You don't want to be in role bondage. And so just because that's the way it was done, that doesn't mean that's the way it has to be done.
Mhm.
And this is so important too, Boo, because roles and responsibilities change as time goes on,
Absolutely.
right? And so when the children are small, first of all, if you don't have kids yet, have a great time,
Right.
right? During that time, the roles and responsibilities are different than once you have children. Life becomes more demanding,
Right.
right? You take on more responsibilities,
Right.
and here come more roles.
Right. And I would just caution man or woman when you're getting ready to be married, go and find out what the man supposed to do as a husband, what the wife supposed to do as a wife. You need to know that. That's just basic
Well, what are you
foundation.
talking about? Because we're establishing that we can switch
Let
roles.
me tell you. No, I can't switch and be a woman.
No, I'm not talking
Okay.
about
So when
gender.
I say go learn your roles, it is a role foundation that a husband need to do. It is foundation what a wife need to do. Now, once we establish who that is, it's okay to interchange. But if some things I cannot do as a wife, which I would direct, if it's something pertaining to women, I would direct that to my wife.
Okay, hold
I
on,
can't do
because
that.
you wait till towards the end of the podcast to bring this up, man. This that's
Yeah,
so meaty.
right. And the
Wait,
reason I'm
so
saying,
what are roles that you say they're just yours?
okay, roles that I would suggest mine. If I'm finna talk to my sons about something pertaining to manhood, a man should do that. A woman cannot do that unless she's in that position and throw that. Find your young man who can do it because you can't relate. You can't do it. You're never in that role. Does that make sense? With a wife, if my daughter come to me and ask me something pertaining to womanhood, I'm gonna say real quick, go talk to your moms because I don't have no experience in that. And even in that, when I'm talking about roles, that's a role bounce. I'm bouncing it to someone who can really accommodate you in that. I can't. So
Okay,
what am I doing? I'm being honest about it. Vice giving you some bad advice that may hurt you in a
okay.
long way.
I don't know if that's necessarily a role, but I totally understand what you're saying. There are times when a woman needs to handle a situation,
Absolutely.
and there are times when a man needs to handle a
That's churchy.
situation as far as communicating and all that kind of stuff. And it's also good to get the opposite
Input.
feedback
Yeah.
input as well.
So
Yeah,
that's all
so
I'm saying there. So even in that role, know your role when to send it, bounce it to where it can go to where it's going to benefit everybody involved. Misleading information can hurt you in the long run.
oh my. I like that, but there are also times when you are the right person to
Absolutely.
speak into our daughter because she needs to hear a
Absolutely.
man's
Yeah,
input. And
absolutely.
there are times when I'm the right person to speak to our
That's right.
sons because they need to hear a female's
That's
input.
right.
And so even that we're bouncing it.
You're bouncing it. So role bounce means bounce the role to the person that need to be bounced to. Pass it. It's okay. It don't make me less than a man. It don't make me weak. Don't make me I'm not in charge of the I'm not the priest of the home. None of that. It's bouncing it to the person that's going to be the best suited for the information that's needed for the person that need to receive.
Whew, that was a lot. This role and responsibilities.
Yes.
Okay, so before you have children, we say enjoy yourself because
Yes.
you don't have as many roles and
That's
responsibilities.
right.
The children come, then
Oh,
here comes additional roles and
yes.
responsibilities.
Yes.
And then as the children grow up, my God, here comes those change again because now they're involved
Yes.
in school, now they're involved in
Yes.
activities, and you've got all these things that are happening. And so somebody's got to get the kids to the game, and somebody's got to do all,
Right.
all all these things have to be done. And then as they grow up now, they move out of the house. Roles and responsibilities constantly change,
Change. That's right.
and so we need to have conversations.
Mhm.
Right, just because we had one long time ago doesn't mean that that's taken care of where we are right now.
No, it's
And so
changed.
there are people who are watching. You may have had this conversation, like we got this established, the roles and responsibilities. But guess what? As time moves on, as time progresses, you need to have a conversation again.
Yes, again. Revisit.
Revisit the conversation. I love that in our house, we bounce.
We
We bounce
bounce.
these
Hey,
roles.
real quick, I
Right.
pass it where it need to go
Whatever needs to be done, we're willing to
to
do
do
it.
it.
And we highly recommend that for your house as
Those,
well.
yes.
Whatever needs to be done, be willing
Willing.
to do it.
That's right.
Not 50-50,
100,
100. 100.
100.
Keep your
Your
heart
heart committed.
committed.